Are you trying to get your insurances sorted but don't know exactly where to start? Today I'm going to share with you the DFND method that I use to help give you the peace of mind that you're after. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and I'm a self-confessed insurance nerd. And on this channel I try and humanize the world of insurance to help provide peace of mind for you and your family. For the last 15 years I've been selling insurance, and I do say selling insurance because let's face it, it's not something that we all enjoy spending money on. The challenge that I'm constantly trying to overcome is how to distill all of the information that you need to know into a framework that enables you to engage with, but ultimately something that helps you to get this sorted out. Now I'm sure you've found, like most things, insurance is full of a ton of jargon, and it can be really overwhelming to step into this world for the very first time. Now I'm sure you remember the likes of Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch. Whilst I'm not a massive fan of either of the two shows, the creator of these shows, Sherwood Schwartz, was asked why the theme song for both of these shows explained the premise of the show itself. His answer was really simple: because the confused don't laugh. I think this is true of a lot of things, including insurance. If you're confused, you're less likely to buy. The reason that I'm telling you this is that it's for this reason that I created the DFND method for helping to guide you through the insurance process. The whole idea was to remove the confusion, empower you to make a decision, and ultimately allowing you to feel confident that you're going to get the best outcome for you and your family. So let's take a look inside. The first step is the discover stage. And there are three main things that we do here. Number one, we have a look at the insurance basics. So in this step, we have a look at the 4 different insurances that are available to you. I like to give you some examples of likelihood and types of claims and that sort of thing to give you some context of these insurances as well. We have a look at some of the technical components when it comes to insurance that are relevant, such as stepped and level premiums, inside super versus outside super, own versus any occupation TPD, all those sorts of things, and explain it to you in a way that you can understand. What we'll also touch on in this step is the potential outcome from an insurance application, of which there are 4. Secondly, I'll share with you my principles-based approach for working out how much insurance you need. This principles-based approach answers the most common question that I get: how do I work out how much insurance I need? This will give you a framework for determining exactly how much you need right now based on your unique situation, as well as give you an opportunity to adjust this cover as your needs change over time. For most people, that means reducing the cover as you get older. This is one of the things that I think is critical to maintaining a healthy insurance portfolio going forward. We then get a really good understanding of your current situation. What does your family unit look like? What's the reason for looking at this insurance in the first place? What sparked you to have this conversation? What's your financial position? Sort of what assets have you acquired? What debts do you have? All those sorts of things. And also, what other insurances do you have in place at the moment as a defensive strategy? Once we've got all that information together, we move on to the second part, which is formulate. Again, there are 3 major things that I look at when I'm formulating the advice for you. Number 1, I like to research and compare. And what I mean by that is that we'll get in contact with your existing product providers. So it's very likely that you'll have some insurance with your existing superannuation fund. We'll contact these companies on your behalf and get a really clear picture of what's in place currently. Once we've determined how much insurance we need from the previous step, we'll then get some quotes with your existing providers and then compare it to that which is available in the rest of the market. When we're doing these comparisons, we're looking at both price and features because both are equally important. The next thing we look at this stage is a medical pre-assessment. Much like when you're going for a loan, you get a pre-assessment before going to put an offer on purchasing a property. The same thing happens with insurance. We want to be clear on what the offer that the insurance company will give us will look like. This also allows us to identify any potential issues or things that will require further attention moving forward, so that you've got clarity on what this will look like before you apply for the insurance. We then have a look at some alternatives, looking at some structure issues, so inside and outside a super, and also come back with some pricing options for stepped and level premiums, and we'll generally come back to you and have a look at 3 different options, which will each have different pricing attached. The next stage is to move into the narrow down process. Now that we've got these options, we'll actually see some pricing and some tangible numbers to the strategies that we've been talking about today. The first thing we do is discuss and explain these different options so that you understand the differences between each of these. Now that we can attach some pricing to each of these different options, you'll see how making some adjustments to these strategies will have a bearing on the price. The next step is the cost versus benefit trade-off, which is having a look at what benefits you want to give up if you want to reduce the pricing that you need to pay. The way that I best explain this is that the numbers that come back initially are the absolute Rolls-Royce level of cover. And what I mean by that is that they're the numbers that you'd insure for if money was no object. Now, I live in the real world as well. What I explain here is that we want to adjust these numbers back to a Volkswagen or a VW solution. We don't want to have that really crappy 1990 Hyundai Getz, but we certainly don't need that Rolls-Royce. So what things do you want to adjust to bring that pricing back to that VW level of cover? It's very rare that we've nailed it in one of these three options that we come back to you with, so coming back with these alternate scenarios is really normal. So that leads me to the alternate options. Once you've seen the pricing and you've looked at some of the things that you're prepared to give up, the last step we do in this stage is look at some alternate scenarios and we craft these together. The idea of this is that by crafting your own strategies, it allows you to have ownership and understand the levers that affect price and what you can do to adjust these and provide a tailored solution for you and your family. Once we've crafted these alternate strategies, we go back and price these up for you so you can see exactly how the alternate scenarios that you want look from a cost perspective. The final stage is to decide. Now, once we've got all the alternate scenarios, we'll send them back to you and you're in a position now to make that final call. What I'll ask you to do is to confirm which of these alternate strategies is the preferred for you going forward. You can see that there's a lot of work that goes into this, so by this stage you'll have a clear understanding of the reasons that you've chosen the option that you're going for and be really comfortable with the decision, knowing full well that you've taken in all of the available information to you. I do believe it's really important that yes, you have the protection that you need, but it must fit in with your budget and your strategies overall to have a really good framework for you and your family. The next step is that we actually go away and formalize all of this advice for you. And what I mean by that is that we bring together all of the strategic work that we've spoken about and match it with a product solution. We call this a statement of advice, and it's about 40 odd pages long that will run through everything that we've spoken about today. Once we've been through this together, the final step that we have is apply. So we'll help you complete all of the applications that you need to submit this to the insurance company. We're not going to send you a whole bunch of paperwork that you need to be left to do on your own. We'll walk you through every single question and make sure this gets submitted to the insurance company properly. Once it's in with the insurance company, this is the start of the underwriting process, and we'll follow it up with the insurance company until this insurance application has been accepted. Once this has been accepted, we'll facilitate any cancellations that are required for your existing policies to make sure all the admin side of things is taken care of as well. Thanks for checking out the DFND method that I've developed to help you with your insurances. I hope you found it helpful. If you want to find out more about the principles I use for working out how much insurance you need, check out this video as I break it down for each of the 4 types of insurances. I'll see you over there.